Hey, what's up guys? This is Guillermo Auto. This video, a quick tutorial on how to cut a rotor on one of these Amco machines. They're pretty standard in the industry, so I'm going to show you how I do it. First, get your rotor off your car, and we're going to get the rust off the front. You could use a sandpaper, or I use one of these. It's just kind of like a little grinder thing. I got like a little scratch pad on it, and I'll just get all the rust or debris built up off the surface. I'll do it on the back as well, just so it won't cause any unevenness in our mating surfaces. Also, I take some sandpaper and I do the ring too. Sometimes you'll have like a little rust buildup and it could cause the rotor not to spin right. So I get all this off. Don't spend like 30 minutes doing this. Just do like a quick little thing. Should take less than a minute to get all this stuff off. Alright, so it's nice and cleaned up. Now I'm gonna use this adapter. This is like an autofill adapter. It has a spring in it, and it just fits to most standard rotors. These are for front brakes. If you don't, just use whatever adapters you can to mount it up. Just make sure you find one that fits in the hole right. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here, and I'm gonna try to make more rotor videos in the future. How to do like small ones or like problems that you might run into. Also, stay tuned at the end of the video. I'll show you how to deal with just a common problem that I run into with turning rotor sometimes. So I got this big adapter on the end, the biggest I could find to help make it spin good. I got this on the inside, and put these on. Also, this is reverse threads on here. So this will be reverse threaded, and then when I tighten it down, I just give it a little bump when it's tight. I don't like gorilla tight this down. I just get it tight and then I just give it a little bump and then it's tight enough. So once I get this on, I'll come over here and I'll turn it on to make sure it's spinning good. So this is actually spinning real nice. It's not jumping around, it's not wobbling, it's just spinning pretty straight. So next is we got to make sure our bits are lined up. My rotor is a little off to the left, so I'm going to come over here. This is the adjuster. I'm going to loosen this and then spin this little wheel. Or, I don't know, spindle. I can't think of the name. But yeah, we're going to spin this to bring the rotor in closer to us, closer to my bits. Alright, as you can see, I'm centering it up more. And then tighten this down. It's real important this gets tightened back down. And then, yeah, so I'm going to get my bits. I'm going to pull them back a little bit, loosen them up right here. And then spin these to the inside to take the bits in, to suck them in. And then I'm gonna make sure my rotor is they're gonna be able to go over my rotor. So I'm gonna take these in, and sometimes when you're spinning them, you have to push them in because they'll get stuck. As you can see, it's still a little to the left, so I gotta bring it in a little more. I'm gonna loosen this back up and bring it in a little bit more towards the center. All right. So I got it pretty centered, and I'm going to tighten that back up over there. Get this nice and tight so don't move on me when it's going. Alright, and now my bits are pretty clear of the rotor. I could bring them in, turn this spindle right here, and I bring these bits all the way in, probably about like half an inch away from the end of it. So as you can see, I'm bringing them in. I'm gonna snug these down, not tight, just like barely snug, so they're still a little loose. Make sure this is in the center, and then I'm gonna turn my machine on at the switch and just make sure everything's looking good. All right, and before I start cutting, I'm gonna turn my switch off. I'm gonna put my rubber or my steel rubber band things on here. This is for vibration. It'll help the bits not vibrate and cause a bad cut. So this goes around the edge. All right, so now that that's on, I'm ready to cut. Turn this back on, and I'm gonna go ahead and just bring this in a little bit more. I try to get about a ½ inch away from the inside, and I'm gonna bring my bits in and just I'm gonna bring them in until they just barely touch. I mean just barely touch. So I'm bringing them in here. I know you probably can't hear it when it hits the rotor, but yeah, once that bit just starts touching it and I can barely see it start to make like a line in it, I just do that for now, and I'll show you why. Alright, so I'm pulling this in towards the center, and I'm just inching this spindle a little bit by a little bit until I get all the rust off, and I'm taking these bits all the way up. Both of them are touching, and this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of inching this little by little This is so I don't just start spinning it and it starts, you know, getting overheated or the bits start making noise. I just kind of inch it in, and they're just getting all the rust off. And then once I get it off the rotor, you know, they cut all the way forward. Then I'm going to take these notches, or these things right here, and I'm going to do 2 lines. So I'm going to turn my light off. I'm just going to move it up 2 lines. See these little lines right here? I'm just going to go 2 lines in. 1, 2, and that's it. And then I'm going to lock this bit down right here. Okay, and same on this side. I'm just going to go move it up 2 little notches, and then tighten it down. And these bits aren't really touching the rotor right now. They're ahead, but if they are touching the rotor, you're fine. And then I'm going to put this lever up forward, and that will start retracting the bits, and it'll cut the rotor. Alright, so now I just kind of keep an eye on it when it first hits to make sure that, you know, they're not like making a lot of noise. You'll probably get a little bit more noise when it starts going through that rust, and then it'll just start cutting through. But mainly, you know, just make sure that it's not like the bits didn't move on you or nothing like that and it's going crazy. You could also use one of these if you want. This goes over the rotor on top of the bits for silencing it if you got like a crazy rotor that's making a lot of noise. As you can see, this is kind of like a quarter way through. It's nice, and you can see the new rotor spot. It's cutting nice, about a quarter way through. And then here's about the end. It's a good rotor, cut good. So I'm just going to let this finish up. And then when it hits the end, it'll be a little bit more noisy because usually the end are a little lipped. But yeah, so there you go. And I'm going to turn my rotor off. Take my band off now. All right, just get this off. And now I'm going to turn my machine back on and get some like little sandpaper. And then do a circular motion to make a non-directional finish on this. I'm going to do both sides. And then when I'm done with that, I'll do it for like, you know, 15 seconds. And when I'm done with that, I'll spray with some brake clean just to get any metal particles off. And also, when you do this, you could spray a rag. I learned in the class, they spray a rag and get it all wet with brake clean and then rub that on the rotor as well to get some metal particles off, and you could do that too. Now I'm gonna unscrew this. Go ahead and get these off. I use this little thing down here just to store them, and then take this big guy off, put him to the side, and then get my rotor off. It's nice and cut. It's clean. Put it back on. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this video helped you guys out. Please like, comment, subscribe, and right now I'll get to the end and I'll show you just a problem you might run into. So if you go to hook up your rotor and you turn it on and it's doing this, it's just kind of looking floppy like it's jumping out. This is the same setup I just used, so I'm going to dismount this and just remount it back up. And then also I could spin this while I'm tightening it back up, and sometimes that helps it jump up on the adapter better. And yeah, just tightened it down and now it's fine. So if you're getting a funky thing, just remount it. So thanks for watching, and again, please